Hey everybody, it's Andy, Cloudy Milder. It's been a little while, hasn't it? But I thought I would jump back in the saddle and get a video out for you tonight, you lucky people, you. In the background, I am listening to a band called 12 Bore, and their album Beyond the Valley of the Triclops. It's a UK stoner rock band. Not listened to this in a very, very long time. Came out in 2016, so thought I'd check that on. Enjoy that with me if you want. I got a handful of records I've grabbed. I haven't necessarily bought them all recently, but I've been digging into my collection a lot and going through some older stuff. I'm kind of curating my collection a little bit. To be honest with you, I've run out of space, and I'm buying stuff and I'm not listening to it a lot. So, along with some other sort of life-changing events that have happened over the last few months, nothing groundbreaking, all good. I've kind of got out of the habit so much of buying stuff, and my mindset has changed to concentrate on what I have and to make space and make funds by moving on things that I'm really not going to play again. Someone else who's going through a bit of a cull on a much bigger scale than I'm ever going to go through is our friend Jürgen over in Germany. He is having a big downsize of his collection, and he posted a video probably a couple of weeks back now where he was showing some of the stuff that he was getting rid of and offering, I think people in the VC sort of first refusal on anything, and there were a few albums that popped up, and the title of this video is Complete Pandemonium, because that is what I got from him. I got the Complete Pandemonium album collection, 3 albums to be precise. They're a band I don't know that well. I know they were on the first Metal Massacre album released from Metal Blade. They went on to release 3 albums, I think, also on Metal Blade as well, although one of these is a Dutch pressing, so it's on Roadrunner. So Jürgen, thanks again. I mean, he was brilliant. He made me, he gave me an absolutely fantastic price on these. I had no problems. Didn't even try and knock him down because the price was great, including postage as well from Germany. Incredibly well packed. He went out of his way to make sure that I was going to be happy with the condition of the records. He described them to a T. He offered to send me photos. I didn't need to see them. So Jürgen, those of you know him, like most collectors, they look after their shit. So they're not going to be in a bad state. And everything was as described. It arrived this morning, and I've listened to all 3. I'm loving it. So yes, let's show you some of the records. So the first one, and I love that cover. I've seen this album around, never in the flesh. It was only released in the US, I think, and I don't think it's ever had a reissue. Or maybe the reissue was just on CD, because I think there's a CD tape and obviously LP release as well. Here we got it. So a little bit rusty. So this came out in 1983, and it's heavy metal soldiers. Oh, I love that cover. It's in the realm of so bad it's good, but there's even better one coming up after. This is what the guys look like. So they're from Alaska originally, and there's 3 guys called Resch. Eric Resch, Chris Resch, and David Resch. So whether brothers or cousins or what have you, there's a strong family resemblance between them. Glenn Holland on guitar is obviously from different genes and different stock there, but they have that early 80s kind of, it's the heavy metal look, but it's when the glam looks started coming a little bit. And this has to me, it's got a very new wave of British heavy metal sound to it. A lot of the early American bands did when they were getting into metal in the early 80s, because that's who they were copying. And then 1985's Hole in the Sky. Now that is a so bad it's actually bad cover. Not quite sure what they were going for with that one, or the look. I mean, they have fully embraced the mid-80s glam look. Now this is when bands looked like this but didn't really sound like glam metal. This still has sort of a heavy metal edge to it. It's better produced than the first one. It has a much more, I guess, mainstream heavy metal sound to it, whereas the first one was, still had a little bit of a 70s influence. I think these guys formed at the end of the 70s, so they're going to be influenced by bands around that time. But poor Eric on the end there. I mean, he really pulled the short straw there, didn't he? He looks a bit surprised as well by it. But they changed drummer on this one, as they changed drummer on every album that they did. So, but yes, another Metal Blade release, and it's a good album. I prefer the first one. I've only listened to these once, so my taste on these will change. But the third one, this is the one on Roadrunner. Now this album cover is a complete 10 for me. I have no idea what's going on here. It just took me till a few minutes ago to realise that this woman is in the same sort of jar as this half corpse thing here. So she's in a jar with some sort of spike through her head, although it doesn't seem to be bothering her too much. She's still able to pout and look all seductive and lovely. But I love these drawings, and now I don't know what these two sort of werewolf dudes are doing now. Or in fact, I don't know if it is a dude actually. Down here, there's a fair bit of forestry work going on down there. But this is The Kill from 1988, and this one sounds different again. Whereas the first one was very sort of raw. New wave of British heavy metal, sounding like they're just finding their feet. The second one was a bit more polished. This has a different sound. This has the guitars are a lot more sort of chuggy, I guess, more like a motorcycle engine. They do a cover of, they've changed their image yet again as well. They look a little bit more Bon Jovi, but they're actually sounding a little bit more Black Sabbath with the sounding of the guitars. There's a cover of Snowblind on here, and I think it's a really good cover. I'm not usually a fan of covers, but I quite enjoyed that one. There's also a cover of on here called Radar Love, Golden Earring, a band I'm not that familiar with, so I don't know if that's a good cover or not. But I think this might be my favourite of the three albums. It's certainly my favourite cover, but I'm absolutely delighted to have these three albums in my collection now. I remember this cover and I remember the first album cover because I've seen them on sort of like bad album cover websites. But yeah, great to have them. Good band. Really enjoying listening as well. So thanks for Jürgen. Thanks Jürgen. I know I paid you for them and all that, but still, thanks for the opportunity to grab them and packing them so well and looking after them, so now I can take them on in my collection as well. I've got a few reissues to go, 3 reissues to go through, 4 reissues in total. Grand Magus, Triumph and Power. I'm only got one album to get now on vinyl to have the full collection. Love Grand Magus, sort of epic, doomy heavy metal. This one came out, in 2014. Check out songs like Steel versus Steel, Triumph and Power. The Naked of the Dead, that's probably one of my favourite ones on here as well. And Hammer Will Bite. This is a superb album. It's one of my favourite Grand Magus albums, but they're all really good. Really, really good band. Fantastic Swedish epic heavy metal. Next up, a band that you've seen me champion quite a lot on here. That's Hellripper and the recent Diabolic Might Records reissue of Complete and Total Fucking Mayhem. A collection of early demos, releases. I think he did quite a few, James McBain did quite a few split singles with other bands, and they are all on here. I also have this on CD and cassette, so it was very, very familiar for me, but this was the only piece of vinyl from the Hellripper collection that I was missing, so delighted to finally be able to grab the recent reissue of this one, reissued this year actually. Now, can a reissue be a grail? I have to admit, when I see people putting up videos and they go, and there's a grail in there, and then they hold up a reissue, I kind of think like, but is it though? I mean, to me, a Grail is hard to find. You know, you try and find a decent copy of the original at a decent price. And reissues, don't get me wrong, reissues are fantastic. You can get albums that are really hard to find, but can a reissue really be a Grail? Well, in this case, I think it can. So, Anthrax, Spreading the Disease, this is what I'm going to have, is, regular viewers will know, one of my favourite albums of all time. This is the Back on Black reissue from, I hope it's on here, from 2010. So it's already 12 years old. Trying to find a copy of this is hard. Now, Spread the Disease used to be a Grail for me, but now I've got about 3 or 4 OGs. But trying to track down a 2010 reissue, it's hard work. Now, obviously, the original was just a single sleeve, and as per most Back in Black reissues, what they tend to do is maybe take what was the inner sleeve and reproduce it on the inside, or put it in some other guff. So you've got Charlie Benante's doodlings on the inside, and the lyrics. I think this was on coloured vinyl. Yeah, it's on kind of like a toxic yellow vinyl, but when I saw this coming up on eBay and for a really decent price, I couldn't jump on it quick enough. It is easier to get an OG of Spreading the Disease than it is to find some of these reissues. Certainly this version, which I was looking for. There's also a white vinyl version as well, which I would grab. I'm a nut for this album. I've got multiple copies, CDs, tapes, anniversary editions, reissues, OGs, you name it. But it's an absolute classic and one of my favourite albums of all time. Now this album I bought because I saw it for a decent price, and I bought because I've been on a big Michael Schenker kick recently. Mainly a Michael, not a like a UFO or Scorpions kick, but pretty much MSG onwards. Michael Schenker Fest most recently. I just love what he has been releasing of late. Absolutely fantastic. I saw this and I grabbed it. I may have had a beer or two. Probably had a beer or two. So I didn't look into really what it was. I just thought, oh, I've not seen that Schenker album. I'll grab that. It turns out it's a compilation, but it's a weird compilation in some respects. So it's got tracks from Live in Tokyo, Live in Madrid, which were both kind of DVD releases. There may be CDs of them as well. I did pick up the Blu-ray of Live in Tokyo recently. So there's a mixture of singers on here. I think Assault Attack obviously has Graham Bonnet on it. Rock Bottom, who's on that one? That's probably Gary Barden. And then Doctor's Live in Madrid. And Rocky Like a Hurricane. And then there's 2 tracks from Spirit on a Mission. And 2 tracks from Bridge the Gap. And Bridge the Gap is an album I don't have yet. So it's a bit strange, really, but it's kind of good. It's a mixture of tracks from different eras, different periods, and I'm glad I've got it now, but I kind of, in hindsight, I probably wouldn't have bought it, if that makes sense, but I'll keep hold of it. Do like a bit of Michael Schenker. So Rock Machine, Michael Schenker. This was actually released when in... it's a Spanish release on Metal Bastard Enterprises. What a great name for a... there's actually nothing, it's just plain white sleeve, no lyrics, no inner or anything, so maybe it wasn't such a good deal after all. But yeah, Michael Schenker, Rock Machine, compilation, probably not worth getting unless you're a massive fan. And lastly, I'm not going to get all this out, but quite a few people have shown it. I wasn't going to buy it at all, I'll be honest with you. There were 1 or 2 albums. This is Tankard. For 1,000 Beers, the big box set that came out this year. Although it came out this year, I think they are 2017 reissues, I believe. And I had a few of them on my want list because I didn't think I needed them all, but Scott, the Rock Scout, he did a brilliant unboxing video. I'll try to leave a link to that because that's a few weeks ago. Now, one of the better unboxing videos I have seen for this, and there's been a lot of them. Although I've watched quite a few, especially my friends on the VC here. It's got the first 7 albums in here. I'm not going to unpack it and get it out. I've only actually listened to the first 2. I like to take my time with the box set, especially for a band like Tanker that I'm not massively familiar with. And as I said, I wasn't going to buy the box set because I'm not massively familiar with it. But when I heard the price had come down pretty much straight away, within 2 weeks after releasing, went straight on Amazon, and I did grab me a copy. So, but there we go. Anyway, that's my lot for now. I'll try not to leave it so long before making another video again. But thanks for watching. Chat to me in the comments, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers, everyone.